Certified Cinephiles.
Take them out.
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 Certified
Yeah.
Cinephiles.
Hello.
Take them out.
What's up? It's me, Certified Cinephiles. And with me, as always, is Will Woods.
You know it.
am... wow.
The
already
movie
coming
boys are
in
going
hot
to
with
destroy
fight
the Hollywood
sounds.
deep state.
It's good to be
That
alive,
is
Pat.
absolutely correct. That is a soundbite of Kamala Harris. We got her on the team. Kamala is no longer part of the Hollywood elitist deep state. She is working with us to destroy it from the inside.
Praise
Hey,
Kamala.
Hive.
Thank you so much, Miss Harris. We didn't know how to feel about you, but now we know that you're our true ally, and we love you.
'Cause
PJ's in the
sometimes cops is
chat. Jerry's
good.
fingers in the chat. What's up, boys? What's up, boy? Hopefully
up,
no T-Rex
gang?
today. Hopefully no T-Rex today.
I saged the chat, so
We
hopefully
did
everything's
file.
okay.
Well, we'll get into that, but there is a reason for our hiatus, and it's a very serious topic. It's a very
It's my fault.
well.
It,
We were anthraxed, and
I've been
yeah.
on the message board. I've been on forums. I've been on Reddits. I've been spewing. I've been drinking wine, and I
That he's
shouldn't
been
be
drinking
drinking
jugs of
wine.
Carlo Rossi.
I've been drinking Carlo Rossi. I've been drinking 2 jugs of Carlo Rossi a night and getting on Reddit and just spewing the message of this podcast, but in a nastier way. And I've been signing every message with not only my address, but Will's address as well. Because
Sir Powdered
when I,
Toastman's in the chat. What's up? We know it. That's not T-Rex. Thank God. I'm sweating thinking that T-Rex
no,
might be here.
well, don't conjure him. Don't say his name again.
We're not
Bring him up
sure
a third
if
time,
he
baby.
was the one that anthraxed us, if he domestic terroristed
It
us.
could have been. I was putting my address and Will's address of his halfway house online, and so it could have been any number of people online who sent us anthrax. We both got it. My lungs are still rehabilitating. How are you feeling, Will?
Yeah, mine are good. So yeah, Pat, because Pat's at elevation, I'm at sea level, and so I've been doing a lot of saltwater
Well, hi,
therapy,
baby.
where so it's through a lot of different variables and just a lot of the guys here at the halfway house. Saltwater therapy, if you just drink salt water from the ocean after it rains. So everybody says don't swim in the ocean after it rains because all of the waste and like hepatitis and stuff on the streets of LA gets into the ocean water, and that's where all of the poop runs off and stuff. And it's actually that's true, but it's actually a myth that it's bad for you. So I've been doing saltwater therapy since the domestic terrorist attack on us of us being anthraxed, and my lungs feel great.
Oh, I might be my asthma. I'm not feeling too well, but if you are listening to this and you're the one who anthraxed us, just know that we are litigious people. We will figure it out. You're going down, just like the Hollywood deep state.
We are very
Just like the
litigious.
evil
We are very litigious people, and we have
litigious.
Litigious. What did I say?
Say it. You said litigious. Sounds like a disease.
Litigious people, and that means that our legs can beat the shit out of you, motherfuckers. Oh, I forgot we're on YouTube. Oh, that's a doc. That's a doc.
No motherfuckers on YouTube. I can say it.
Motherfudgers.
Today we're watching the 1989 film Society.
Bruh.
This one I had never heard of. This is your favorite movie though, Will, is what you told me.
This movie is hands down the greatest movie of all time, and I've had it in my back pocket for a long time. I didn't know when would be the right time to discuss, but yeah, it's
crazy that it's your favorite movie and it's taken 3 seasons for us to get to it on a movie podcast. You coach, best friend.
It is crazy,
Yeah.
but this movie's scary, and for all of the OG listeners out there, you know that Pat and I do not do scary movies, and this movie is
It's fucking scary. It's wet. It's wet and scary. And that just tells you that there's a lot other stuff going on in this for Will to like it so much, even though it's so scary.
Well,
This movie has a lot to say. This movie basically does the job of our whole podcast. I mean, we should just upload this movie every week.
Let him know what it's
You know what I'm
about,
saying?
Pat. Let him know what it's about.
There's no question the world elites are puppet masters. They control the narrative in the U.S. since its birth. Society, a movie made in 1989, dared to shine a big light on one of the many disgusting hobbies of the upper class. The shunting. And you may be asking yourself what shunting is.
Bruh.
I don't even know where to begin with that.
We'll tell you. We're
wanna
going to show
tackle-
you. And you're going to throw up.
Yeah. I threw up about 6 times while watching this movie, all within the last 30 minutes. How many times did you throw up, Will?
It's a constant. I got a bucket next to me. It's like an episode of Jackass when they're eating raw eggs, and I'm Preston Lacey, and I'm throwing up. I'm huffing Steve-O farts and all that.
Ugh. And you shit a lot too, so you're shitting and throwing up and pissing.
Speaking of, I got fired
And
from my
farting.
job this week.
Why'd you get fired?
Well, because I'm a guy. All the guy. I mean, we got the guys in the chat. Everybody knows what's up. There is nothing
Since
more
when have you been
fun
working? Have you gotten a job outside of the halfway house?
at the Circle K. Yeah. So there's nothing
How many
more
hours
fun.
were you working?
I've been working 32, a full part-time.
That's
Shout out.
amazing.
Yeah.
See, this is the problem with the podcast this season. Will is in a halfway house. We only get an hour. He only gets an hour of internet each week, so we really only get this 1 hour of time to not only podcast but to catch up. So I'm sorry, but congrats, and I'm sorry that you got fired. What happened?
Well, it's total bullshit. Talkie mushrooms. Shout out. Spy
Nice
Kids.
save.
But guys in the chat, sound off if you agree with me, because this is a guy's thing, but like there's nothing more fun than when you're peeing and you've left your dump in the toilet and then you pee on, so then you can like push
Yep.
you push your pee as hard as it can. You can see if you can penetrate the top of the water so deep that it starts messing and mixing up all of the poo. It's hilarious and
Yeah.
it's so fun, and I think
It's
that
fun.
the LA
like
Marathon
that
was
too.
this week. The LA Marathon was this weekend, and everybody wants to talk about how, it's such a feat of like physicality and like I'm so proud of myself and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you do you, all of that stuff. But have you ever had like a dump made of like pure sunflower seeds and like thick whole
Dark
milk?
black.
Dark
Like a
black
dark
and like
black.
thicker than a pine cone, and you're able to get that mixed up. And so I would tell all of my coworkers, like, whoa, 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 like do not flush. And I wasn't just I let it leak that some of some of the guys who I thought were chill, I thought they were cool, I let them know that like, hey, this is what I'm doing in here, and like we can go in on this and like compare and yeah, sure enough, I got freaking.
I don't think I think it's fine until you bring your coworkers in on it. They don't want to think about you pissing on their turds.
Well, I just don't think that they're cool. Sound off in the chat if you're cool like that.
Chat, sound off in the chat if you're cool. If you'd be okay with your coworker coming up to you and saying, "Hey, don't flush your Jimbos. Let me get in there after you and piss on them."
Not
Let us know in the chat if you're okay.
not
with
just
getting your
pissing
Jimbo.
on them, but like getting them stirred up. Like,
Yeah, but how are you? Are you sticking a stick in there too? Or you're just using your piss.
yeah, that's the whole game. Anyways, let's get back to what this movie's
you're
about.
pissing on a Jimbo. You're pissing on your. You can do that at work, but just don't bring other people's turds into the equation.
Yeah,
It's
my bad.
like
Sorry that I've been in prison for 6 months and I got out. Now I'm gonna have all the dudes in the halfway house. They know what's up. We piss on each other's jumbos all the time, and it freaking rocks.
Well, that's what you do in your own time. Your coworkers are forced to be around you. You can't have them. You can't force your coworkers to share their jumbos.
I don't believe that crap.
Well, Pat, why
The
don't we?
movie Society follows 17-year-old Bill Whitney, played by Billy Warlock, which is the coolest fucking name sorry, YouTube. Which is the coolest freaking name I've ever heard of. He was on Days of Our Lives. Ever heard of it?
493 episodes of Days of
This
Our Lives.
says-
I mean, this guy wasn't just like this guy was
It
Days
says
of Our Lives.
Daves. It says Daves of Our Lives. Did you do a typo? Because I thought maybe Daves of Our Lives was a show.
No, Days of Our Lives.
Oh, okay.
Got this.
Billy
son
Warlock,
on.
isn't that the cool? Yeah, you gotta. That's like splitting your head in half.
Whoa.
He's Mr. Popular. Bill Whitney's main character. He's a 17-year-old boy. He's Mr. Popular. He's a jock type from Beverly Hills. and he has suspicions about his rich parents. They're a little creepy. Um, and the ex-boyfriend, and one things go awry when the ex-boyfriend of Bill's sister shows Bill that his family is not what they seem. All hell breaks loose, and his best friend goes missing, and Bill is left to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens in this movie.
Yeah, this movie,
But it's
first
a
and
lot
foremost, if you haven't
wetter.
seen it, you're going to have to. You need to, because if you want to know, if you truly are with us and you are a certified cinephile and you're trying to shine light on the Hollywood elitist deep state and its
Shine bright like a diamond.
disgusting methods and its point of view and its philosophies and all of that, this movie does the best job ever, where it is talking about how the high class of society is disgusting and just a bunch of pedos.
And wet. They're sex perverts and they're wet and they like to shunt. They like to suck all the juice out of regular normal people like you and me. They use our energy to supplement their own evil deeds. While the contents of this movie may not be exactly what's happening in our real life behind the scenes in the Hollywood back rooms, it still is a reflection, and a lot of these things are real. But I don't think
Without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, these are real. Everything that happened in this movie is based on true events. It does not say that. Let it be known, it does not say that, but that goes into exactly why we're covering this movie today.
So you're telling me that
they wanted to bury this movie.
People like Harvey Weinstein are mutants behind the scenes. They turn into wet mutants. Improver alert. They're actually turning in their butts is where their faces are sometimes.
All I'm saying
You're telling me that Ellen DeGeneres' butt is where her face is sometimes?
There's a reason
and you're
why
getting fired from the Circle K because you're asking to borrow some of your coworkers' Jimbos. Meanwhile, Ellen DeGeneres is in Hollywood. She is got her butt where her face is sometimes because she's a mutant Hollywood deep state freak, like in society.
Yeah, and they're doing crazy sex stuff. That's exactly what we're getting at. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly what we're getting at. It was just
kind of a gross allegory. Well, shout out to the special effects crew behind this stuff because it made me puke a bunch.
Yeah, this is from the producer of Reanimator. They used the effects team from Reanimator, and his name's Brian Yuzna, and he directed this movie. He's also known from a not as good movie, but pretty good, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, which is the third establishment of the Honey, We Shrunk Our Kids franchise. He also
I thought it was the first one.
Honey, We Shrunk Our Kids is number 1. Honey, We Shrunk the Baby is number 2, and number 3, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. My personal favorite because it really puts things in perspective.
They're teenage girls. How much could they eat? And they eat a lot because they're little. Because the parents are little, so it seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, the special effects are disgusting and awesome, and I am shuddering thinking about Ellen DeGeneres and Harvey Weinstein and these guys behind closed doors just shunting away their wet mutant bodies. Their butts are where their faces are. It is giving me the heebie-jeebies, but this is what we're up against, and this is why we started this podcast.
I just want to show a clip of, this is an image of the shunting in its final form. We'll get into some cooler scenes, but as you can see, this is just a mesh of bodies.
Can you get it off of my screen? Can you keep it on theirs, but get it off of my screen? I don't like looking at it. Can you get it off mine?
All right,
Get it
Pat.
off my internet.
So as you can see, I mean, it's just a bunch of lubed up bodies of all ages. I mean, you're not just talking young, you're talking young and old. It's quite disgusting. And of course, we have the mom who turns into, this is the mom and the daughter of the whole thing.
And this is what people like. This is what people like Quentin Tarantino and Ellen DeGeneres are doing behind the scenes. They're becoming mutants. They're sucking up regular people like me and you, and using our energy for their evil deeds.
Yeah, and they just mold into each other, and they just do disgusting things like just like swim around in each other's bodies. It's absolutely.
And it's sexual too. It's actually sexual.
That's the worst part about it, is that it is very sexual, and I mean, these people are doing it with their kids.
And what do I always say? Sex should be with only one other person, and it should be dry. It should be absolutely dry. And this movie.
And it
breaks
should
both of
only
those
be
rules.
when trying to conceive child. For me.
Yeah. Me too. We
One
are
day.
both Christian.
One
We
day.
we don't dangle cross, but we are Christian. Yeah, sex should be to conceive. It should be as dry as possible, and it should be with only one person. The 3 rules. And people at the top are not following those rules that God set aside for us.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Speaking of, Pat, how are you with the celibacy and edging that you've been doing?
Well, I have been doing some of Will's kung fu training, his sexual kung fu training.
Good.
I did slip up a bit because the whole anthrax thing was. My confidence kind of has taken a spill because I did have to shave my beard because of the anthrax scare.
And then
the anthrax exacerbated my asthma. And all of this to say, I did finish the completion the other day just because I needed to, because of all the hard shit that's happening in my life.
Bruh.
Well, you're a stronger
So-
man than I, and I just have
Very
to say that,
senpai.
yeah, if there was a reason to break and to go ahead and jack
Well,
off,
maybe I
it's gonna
should've
be
just-
getting anthraxed, because you really
I
got to
just
take care of
needed-
yourself.
I needed to take the edge off. And maybe if I would have seen this movie before I decided to ejaculate, this movie could have stemmed the tide. Because this
I think
movie
you,
is
yeah, I
disgusting.
feel like you don't even have to count that. I feel like, you can get right back to it and act like it never happened, because I think that you are deserving of that. I think it's not very often that people survive domestic terrorism, and the fact that we both did, and the
It's like
authorities aren't
in
even taking it
movies.
seriously. The authorities aren't even taking it
They're
seriously.
sick of our shit. Let's be honest. Authorities are sick of our shit.
What the point?
They haven't been
What
out
is
to
the
us
point of
for years.
a police officer who is, they took an oath to serve and protect? If
Let's break down the words police officer. Police. That is Italian for please. I'm pretty sure.
oh
An
wow,
officer is a public servant.
I
So
don't believe that
they should be
crap.
polite public servants. But that's not what they're doing. They're being mean bullies.
yeah, and just because I was convicted and have since been released, I'm in a halfway house, and just because I mean, I hear it all the time. Because look, here's the thing: is Patrick more than me, have been a product of gang stalking, and we've been followed. And when we call into these places, they simply just do not listen. I have yet to get a call back from the list of detectives that I've contacted over the last few months since my release. And
when you do get when you do get a hold of them, well, who is it? And you're like, well, if I fucking knew who was gang stalking me, I would know. They wouldn't be good at it.
yeah,
That's why I'm calling you, you butt fuck.
we both
Sorry,
have our own way of dealing with these situations. Patrick has sorry to bring it up. We won't have to go into it further, but he has extensive military training, and he has been in situations that he has had to use force to get out of. Me, on the other hand, I'm more of a tech guy. I'm like Mouse from the Matrix, where I'm kind of behind the scenes, but I will get what I want. But I definitely will use the tools that are accessible to me, like the police department.
I'm Leonardo and Raphael. You are Donatello and April mixed together.
Yeah. Also, the Los Angeles Police Department has a bigger air force.
I'm Michelangelo. I'm Splinter. I'm Leonardo. I'm Raphael. All mixed together. You're Donatello.
I'm just Donatello. I'm just Donatello in April.
You're Donatello and April mixed together. I'm Raphael.
At least give me Venus.
That's a different show.
It's still canon.
I'm Raphael. I'm Michelangelo. I'm Raphael. I'm Leonardo. I'm.
Just give me Venus, and I'll be
Different
happy.
show. Move on.
Okay, well, the Los Angeles Police Department has a air force bigger than the Air Force of Spain. They have multiple helicopters. I'm paying millions of dollars in taxes every year for this police department, and I can't.
So they can fly their little planes to Catalina.
If they're not going to answer my calls about being gang stalked, they're certainly going to answer my calls about there being a you-know-what at a certain residence, and they're going to take it seriously because they have to.
And that's how you got into this halfway house.
Yeah, and it's a damn shame.
You were frustrated. You were trying to get their attention, and boy, did you get their attention. Family annihilated a family, and it's in the past. We don't have to talk about it on every episode.
Hi everyone, this is Joe for Joey's Super Cool Food Reviews.
Whoops, wrong one. Oh, okay. So we're back to this movie. I mean, this movie Society. Really, my favorite part about it is the one and only Devin DeVasquez, who plays Clarissa. So for all of those 90s babies out there, your dad or uncle or friend's dad probably had a stack of magazines, and let me tell you what, she is recognizable. You watch this movie and you're like, who is this? I need to know everything about her. I need to know what is she up to now. I don't mind the age gap. What is she up to now? What's she doing? And you do get to see it all. You do get to see it all on this.
You do. You get a treat. You get to see it all. I recognized the nipples right away. Once you see her areolas and her nipples, once she takes those out, I recognized her right away. I knew which issue of Playboy she was in. She is one of my favorites.
First featured on the 1985 cover of Playboy through Star Search. She is Irish and French. She originally hails from Ontario, Canada, but she does have some American Indian blood in her. So very good mix of genes there. I'm just a 23andMe kind of guy myself, and yeah. And Jerry's Finger, yeah, I thought she was 18. Guess what? She was.
She told me she was 18. She told me she was 18.
She told me.
Yeah. She was 20 at the time of this movie.
So that means she's an old lady now, I would
Just kidding.
still
I actually don't know
go
how old
to
she was with
town.
this, but if you think about if she was 18 at Star Search in 1985, then in 1989 with the release, let's say, no, 20 makes sense because the film was probably shot in 1987. I mean, we're the experts here.
She told me she was 18. She told me.
And
Um,
but wow, I mean, take my breath away. She's really the reason why this movie is my favorite
Smoke.
movie. I mean, I can do
I
anything
get it.
with her around,
She
including watch a
is
scary movie.
smoking hot. She's smoking hot, and I would love to break Edge again, if you know what I mean.
Well, you're in luck,
But
Pat. You
that's
might break Edge on pod because I got a clip of Clarissa that we're going to show our viewers here
oh
today.
goodness. Can we show this on
Well,
Yeah.
we should have a dress code,
Oh,
I guess.
yeah.
basic
And I think we should
instinct stole this.
follow it in
Yo.
the most possible strict
Imagine doing
we
a
possibly
speech.
can.
Imagine
Imagine
Don't
that.
get too hot.
Turned. Oh, put me on ice.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to
Oh.
bust.
You could borrow my jumbo any day, if you know what I mean. I was to Circle K with her.
Oh, Pat. I mean,
She could piss on my turd any day of the
I
week.
just, if for all of our viewers out there, if you've done yourself the service of watching Society, there's a couple scenes to note, and there's obviously the last 30 minutes of this movie, which is absolutely disgusting and will make you want to throw up, but will also excite parts of you that you didn't know exist, and will give you a great indication of what's really going on the Hollywood elitist deep state front. The other scene happens somewhere in the movie. It honestly feels like a fever dream where Clarissa mates with our lead guy named Billy and Bill Whitney, and the mating scene is very good. It's a very good mating scene, and there's a lot going on that's worthwhile. And if you're curious about what other kind of acting that she's done, you can just Google her name, and there's a ton of sites out there. There's so many sites. People are so, they're so stuck on, oh, it's P-Hub and it's RTube and all of that stuff. Well, guess what? There's some really good sites.
There's
People
some
that
great
are
ones
some
out there.
good historians of adult cinema. Like
I like what?
Well, I'm afraid to say him on here because I don't want to get a shadow ban from the internet again, because we've had a big problem with that before. But just Google her name and you are going to see some amazing things. And just join this ride with us.
This might not even be my favorite movie she's in.
You can say that right.
So Billy Warlock, he's a rich kid. He has a rich family, but his parents and his sister are kind of freaking weird. What are they doing? There's this kind of like weird incest vibe to the whole movie. And it's like, is it really going that way? Is there really this incest vibe? And it does kind of go that way, doesn't
Let's
it?
roll the clip.
Listen, Jenny, I'm just
So Billy's like, oh, my sister's, I just need to talk to my sister. He gets a good look at his sister who's absolutely turned her. She was twisted in the shower. Her tits and her ass are on the same side. And he's like, yep, I better
This
take
bitch.
I better take a closer look. Which I don't blame him necessarily.
Let me get a closer look at my naked sister in the shower.
God, Bill, what's the matter with you?
listen, Jenny, I'm just
So something's going on with this MFer's dizzy bitch of a sister had her freaking breasts on backwards in the shower, and you're like, what the hey is going on?
Like seriously,
heck is going on?
And he's like, I'm gonna open this door. I'm gonna open this door
He's-
and I'm gonna take a look at
He
this.
knows it's his sister, but he just keeps getting closer. He just keeps getting closer. Cause that dizzy bitch had her boobs on backwards.
It's disgusting. And it's like, of course you're gonna be curious. Of course you're at that age, the hormones are racing, and of course you're gonna be like, I see something weird. And this is after his ex-best friend, who also happens to be his sister's ex-boyfriend, comes to him with all of this information about how the high school bully, rich guy, did stuff with her, and how his parents did stuff with her, and all this stuff. And he's like, what is going on? What am I hearing? And this is before AI, folks. I mean, this is all stuff. So he has a right to be curious.
He couldn't just think this stuff up and then put it into an AI generator. He would have to just draw it or think about it. So in a way, he is lucky to see his sister have this dizzy bitch have her boobs on the back of her back. But it's also his sister, so what's going on?
Yeah, like,
So
you
that's
have a
kind-
nice life,
and that's-
just leave it alone, you know?
And at this point in the movie, you're heckin' confused, and that's how you know this is a good movie, because they want to put you in the shoes of the main character, Bill. He's fucking confused as shit. You're like, is this an incest movie? And he's thinking the same thing. Am I in an incest family? I don't know what the shit's going on. And the movie does a great job of putting you in that position where you're like, I just want to fucking close my laptop and leave.
Yeah. I mean, this is not for the lighthearted. But Clarissa's there, and she's holding your hand the entire time. And frankly, you just don't know what kind of payoff you're going to get if you just stick along. You stick along with it. Because Clarissa,
Stick along with it.
I mean, really, like, Clarissa's basically, you're at Six Flags, Elitch Gardens, and Clarissa's basically like, hey, I want to go do the haunted house. And you're like, there's no way I'm doing the haunted house. But Clarissa's like, what, are you scared? Are you don't want to do
Come on,
you don't want to do the
my
haunted
panties are
house? You don't want to do the haunted house with me?
Come on.
And you're
my
like,
panties
okay,
are
I'll do the
wet.
haunted house.
Haunted
That's what
house.
this is like, because Clarissa is basically there holding your hand the entire way, and
Sometimes her nipples are out, which is a bonus.
and
If
boy,
you ask me.
does it rock. Not only is it a bonus, but it also feels like a gift. Never before in my life have I felt the way I feel about Clarissa, and
You are bringing her up a lot. We're about over halfway through this episode, and we basically haven't done anything except talk about Clarissa's
yeah, that's a good point. Well, Pat, let's get to it, because we have a lot of disgusting things to show our listeners here, and the chat is going off. Thank God T-Rex is not
Tell me
here.
what's going on in the chat. I don't know how to work this stuff.
We got PJ, we got Jerry's Finger, we got Sir Powder Toast Man, we got Thunder Nuggets 911, and they're all in support of us.
Oh.
They all know what's up.
There are also nice things about me in particular.
Yeah, Thunder Nuggets does say Donatello is mid but sexy, and I do have to say that
yeah,
if
sexy.
I do have to say that
Donatello
like, I don't want to tell you
and
that you're
April
wrong,
are the
because
two
he is
sexiest
sexy.
ones.
Well, I don't want to tell you that you're wrong, but Donatello's not mid. Donatello is the one that brings all of the tech, their van, all of like the crazy stuff, because they're fighting aliens at some point. At one point, the Ninja Turtles are fighting intergalactic aliens, and they need the
He's
tech.
also the only one that gets his period. He gets his period.
Oh my God.
He
Okay,
gets
well,
his period in one of the episodes.
you're making me
I don't
pretty
remember what
mad.
episode is that, but Donatello gets his period in one of the episodes. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're
Sound
actually
off-
making me mad.
Sound off in the comments if
I
you
don't
remember
believe
which
that
one
crap.
Donatello.
The Hollywood
I didn't write this. I didn't write it. You are losing it. I'm gonna have to
sorry.
cut off your
I'm
goddamn
sorry.
sound effects privileges again.
I'm
Just because you're
sorry.
Donatello doesn't mean you gotta go crazy with the effects. All the tech stuff.
So let's get into our crazy
What are we
scenes
gonna
here.
get into? Okay.
So obviously, for me, the scene that left me speechless was every scene with Clarissa. This was hands down just one of the best things ever. But I think I got a runner up since we've already showed it. What about you, Pat?
I love when after Clarissa and Billy make love at Clarissa's house. I absolutely love the scene when Clarissa's mom, who's an absolute dunce, she comes in and she coughs up a hairball and gives it to Billy. And there's really no explanation as to why this happens, but it's one of my favorite scenes of all time.
That's awesome. Mine's gonna be when Billy discovers his family in full incestuous. I don't even know necessarily what to call it, but it's pretty naughty, and the dad turns into a butt. So we're gonna watch that.
How sweet of you.
Just imagine this is Harvey Weinstein and Ellen DeGeneres.
See, this is really scary knowing that I don't know where Clarissa is at this point.
And it's scary knowing this is actually happening.
Got the dad's hands for legs.
If you have any edible fantasies you'd like to indulge in, Billy, now's
Oh
the
my
time.
God.
Okay. Imagine your sister's face is where your mom's pussy should be. Are you scared yet?
Well, son, I guess you're right. I am a butthead. hey, Bill.
Absolutely terrifying.
Imagine that was all sexual too. I don't know if you can tell from that clip that was all sexual. Just imagine the sheer terror. You go into your parents' room and your sister's head is where your mom's pussy should be, and your dad's face is on his ass. Can you imagine how fucked up that would be and scary?
But if I had Clarissa as my girlfriend, I'd be okay with it. And our even though we would be young and just starting to figure out our lives and everything, we would like become each other's like best friends, and we would stay by each other's sides, and we would be this like young love that it just can't be faltered. And we were like twin flames that had connected like in this timeline, but we've known each other forever, in several other timelines, like Abraham, like I was once Abraham Lincoln and she was Mary Todd Lincoln, or I was like a caveman, and
I'm gonna be John Wilkes Booth if you don't freaking hurry up with this. God, this is so boring.
You get my point.
We get it. You're in love with her. She's 90 years old now. You had your chance, but you never got her.
Not yet.
You're gonna call her up now. You're gonna call up Devin DeVasquez. Hey, I just saw Society. You were beautiful in it. I know you're 112 years old now, but I have a couple turds you could piss on. Is that what you're gonna say?
Well, maybe now
I'm
that I
in a
don't have
halfway
a
house.
maybe I no longer have a job at Circle K, but maybe I can get a job at the nursing home or the memory care center that she's at, and I can like wipe her ass and stuff, but not in that way, like in a like.
You think that the old folks home is gonna have turds firm enough for you to piss on? If that's your end game? Or are you really in love with this girl?
I mean,
Are
real
you really
talk.
in love with her?
Yeah.
Facts.
dead ass, I'm really
Bet?
in love with her. I really think so.
I think you should go out there and find her and wipe her ass for her then, Jordy. Because if it's true love, if you know from watching this movie, she's your favorite part of your favorite movie, homie. You should go find her and you should fall in love with her.
Bruh.
Even though you're married.
Truer words have never been spoken. Thanks, Pat.
And you're in a halfway house.
Okay, so on to there's the scene that, and I know you hate this part, but it's the scene that you might agree with the critics on. Something that you might agree with the critics because, and let me tell you, viewers, the critics were relentless on this.
I hate this part.
But we have to. We need to be able
Sorry.
to align ourselves with. We need to be
Sorry.
able to see in which direction the devil's looking. In order to know.
Not an Airbnb.
I don't believe that crap.
The scene, the critics, I read a couple reviews on this thing, and yeah, you know what, maybe it is a little too wet, maybe it's a little too grotesque, but you have to use those tactics to hammer your point home about how disgusting high society is, how the ultra-rich elites are. They are wet and gross. And yeah, it's not always fun to look at in a movie, but it's just the truth.
Yeah. I mean, you're just nailing it. You're nailing it here. Let's give them a look at. Let's give them a look at that.
I'm
This
gonna
is
be
the
honest.
shunting.
I've been thrown off my game.
Take a look at this. So, for all of our listeners out there, the shunting is in process. We have found the sister's ex-boyfriend, Bill Whitney. Oh, God, it's disgusting. And they're touching his bleached up body. They created this viscous, greasy skin, and they're just like touching it and penetrating it all they want. They're just they're like sucking all the juices out.
God, so wet sounding.
Wow. And that's why this movie's like my favorite part. It's my favorite part of the movie.
And that's like the whole 30 minutes is pretty much like that. It really crescendos. The
You really
third
can
act
just
is,
watch this movie for the Clarissa
crazy.
parts, and then you can kind of forget everything else. And the movie it stands on its own with just Clarissa.
She is the best part by far. Billy Warlock playing Bill Whitney. He is a pretty good leading man. He holds his own.
He's funny.
Next to Clarissa. He's so funny. I'm so glad you agree because he's making me laugh through this whole thing. It's a dark movie and you need some lighthearted banter. And these are high school kids at the end of the day, and it's still a high school love story.
That seriously makes me want to cry because that is so beautiful.
I know.
And
Didn't get Clarissa.
just to know that she was she was barely legal with this, but now, so she wasn't that old at the time of this movie, which was before I was born, and knowing that there really isn't that big of a difference in age, and just
She's
thinking about
20
it,
years older than you.
yeah, it's not that bad because I'm a young buck, and I think that
She's like a cougar.
I think that I've been doing a lot of breath work with the guys here at the halfway house, and I think that manifestation, there are we talk a lot about 3D, right? We all experience 3D. It's the body. I know I'm in a body. This is my 3D experience. And then, what few people outside of going to the SpongeBob exhibit at the Denver Aquarium or a Regal Cinema 4D experience, you don't really experience 4D. 4D is intuition. 4D is knowing your emotions. 4D is understanding what's good for you in life and what's bad for you. And then I think all we can ever hope for in this life is to reach that 5D experience where we can find euphoria in the everyday, where our gratitude is celebrated and with every single breath we take, and that we truly understand that our existence on this plane is temporary. And we were sent here to Earth to experience all of the good and the bad, and that we will all, when we transpire and we cross over the Rainbow Bridge, we're all going to go up to Christian heaven, and we're going to become all of these souls, and it'll be just like the movie Soul and Pixar. They did a really good job of this, and we're going to be all these souls, and we're going to have like all of these things of like, what do you want to go to Earth to be, and all of that stuff. And yeah, I just think that like Clarissa and I probably have like spent time together in like other lifetimes and other things, and that to me this movie reminds me that like I am very close to 5D. Like, Patrick, you're very 3D. I just know that about you. And like,
What?
well, it's not necessarily
Kevin-
bad. It's just like you're a young soul, like because of, I don't know, like
Kevin
just,
James.
oh my God, exactly like Kevin James. Yeah, you're very 3D like Kevin James. But I'm like 5D. I'm like Ray Romano, 5D,
Is that why I fully don't understand the pissing on turds thing?
It's in part,
Is that
yeah.
like a 5D thing?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it is. It's a 5D
I'm
thing, but it's
learning
not
a
to say
lot.
that it's not to say that's for everybody. But see,
I'm
I'm really
learning
in
a
tune
lot.
with my masculine because I've been masculine like throughout a lot of my lifetimes, primarily masculine. I've had a couple of lifetimes in the feminine energy, but I do know that I'm in.
Like April O'Neil.
Honestly, yeah, exactly. And here's the thing:
I'm
is
learning a
that
lot.
when you got like a big old pile of dump that is underneath the water, and you can breach that water with your pee, and you can stir it up, and you can just like really, really celebrate your masculine energy that way. Because I mean, nothing against
What I've been
women,
doing
but
lately.
you can't breach
finish
that.
That's
You can't
important.
breach. You're not going to have the power to
You
breach.
can't aim. You don't. You'd have to get like what's it called on a submarine? You'd have to get one of those.
Yeah,
to aim your
binoculars.
piss.
A binocular.
You'd have to get undersea binoculars to see your piss because you're a lady. What I've been doing lately is I've been going to certain bars and grills, and I've been eating there. And even if I don't have to do my own shit, I'll go into the bathroom, the toilet, and I'll see if there's shit on the sides of the toilet. Someone else painted on the side, and I'll just piss that shit off the side, clean up their toilets for them, and then afterwards I'll tell them, hey, I'm not tipping, and this is why. I'm not gonna tip after I've helped clean your bathroom.
I basically just worked like, how many hours would you have paid the person that's going to clean those toilets?
You see how many damn diet mug root beers I drank to build up this load.
You should be paying me. I mean, yeah. What are you paying your work? What are you paying the workers there that are going to have to do the cleaning job? You should be paying me. Take that off. I'm doing you a service, so take that off my bill.
I went into the ladies' room too. I went to the damn ladies' room too. That I didn't want to do that, but I did it. I pissed the period blood off the side of the toilets.
Yeah, and let's be real, like, and this is nothing against women, but they are known for not sitting on the toilet seats. They hover, and so they're
they just splatter the period blood all over the damn toilets,
all over it.
Shit.
And so you're doing. I mean, seriously. And Pat, to our listeners out there,
that's why I don't tip. That's why I don't tip when I go to a bar and grill.
Yeah. And to listeners out there, this is something Pat has done for a long time. So back before I was incarcerated, Pat was actually welcomed at the Boca de Beppo there in the Flatirons Crossing Mall because
the good old days before I was banned.
Yeah, until they got Todd, the new manager, because Todd was against it. But everybody there was cool. Everybody there was cool, and they knew Pat. We would get free Boca de Beppo, which we would sit at the Pope's table at Boca de Beppo, just Pat and I. Sometimes we would run like, because the Pope, if you haven't been to Boca de Beppo, you need to reassess your life, because they have over 100 locations. They have a location in the Philippines, so you don't have an excuse that you have not gone to Boca de Beppo. And here's the thing, is that right now, Boca de Beppo is running this. They are not a sponsor, but they are running a promotion right now that they will give you $25 if you spend $50 there. You're basically getting a full 4-course meal for $25. Regardless, the Broomfield at the Flatiron Crossing Mall, Boca de Beppo, welcomed Pat with open arms. They said, please sit at the Pope's table. We would have, they would shut the restaurant down for Pat because of the service that Pat would do cleaning the bathrooms.
We were pigs and shit back in the day. We were living large. I miss those days.
And then
I was cleaning paint off those toilet seats. But then got this new GM. Remember, he called himself the Todd Father. He figured out what we were doing, and he didn't like it. We were getting too friendly with the line cooks.
Half the staff quit when they found out that the Todd Father banned Pat. Half the staff quit of that Boca de Beppo. And this goes down in history of this. This is Boca de Beppo lore. There is no... If you want to visit history, you need to go to the Flatirons Crossing Mall.
Go to the Beppo subreddit.
You're gonna
go to the subreddit. Go
to
the subreddit. Look it up. About 2 years ago, the whole saga's on there. Also, I got a bunch of stuff that went down at a Domino's. That's on the Domino's subreddit.
And that one's actually pretty incredible because they don't have public restrooms at the Domino's. So Pat was
That didn't have anything to do with the bathrooms. I had to do with the marble brownie cookie. I found a loophole with a coupon they had, and I was getting infinite marble brownie cookies, and I got banned from Domino's. I have a bunch of them frozen.
That makes me sick. Why would they do that to you, Pat? After everything that you gave them, after everything that you did for them.
They should hire me. They should hire me like how the U.S. hires hackers to find holes in their system, and Domino should hire me like that.
Well, let's get to our God tier scene. We're moving this one along. For me, this one is hands down the most disgusting thing, but just keep in mind Clarissa's there and she supports it. The bad guy, he's a bully. His name's Ferguson, and Bill Whitney, our main character, played by Billy Warlock of Daves of Our Lives, turns him inside out. He puts his hand straight up through his taint, possibly his butthole. It's not quite clear, and it goes straight through.
It's really gross and not totally clear.
Whitney, we don't lose. Ever.
Boys kissing.
Yeah, we're gonna get removed from YouTube. And I'd be like, no thanks.
Thank you, next. Inside Out, like a pile of meat. Yo.
No thanks. No thanks. Yeah,
at that.
basically the last 30 minutes. Blah. This movie, basically the last 30 minutes, this movie just looks like the inside of a Chef Boyardee can.
It's beefaroni for days. It's
And I'm
beefaroni
here
for
for it.
days. For a long time, beefaroni was my favorite food. Chef Boyardee got me
I
through a
can
lot.
see that for you.
My parents got heavily into Amway and multi-level marketing, but they were there on the ground floor, so they got a lot of headway. You know, this is the OG multi-level marketing scheme, and so whenever my parents would be going out doing their Amway thing, I'd be eating Chef Boyardee and watching
I like
Garfield.
The ravioli. I like the ravioli. I like the ravioli, the canned ravioli, the beef one.
I like the
that
yeah,
one.
that one's good too. The beefaroni and then the big beefaroni for big boys
Oh, bigger beef.
with a different taste. The sauce tasted different. Not sure why, but it did.
It tasted like more for adult guys. It was more of an adult guy taste.
Yeah, like a Burger King Big Kids meal.
Like the Lunchables. Like the Lunchables, the bigger Lunchables have an adult guy taste. I'm getting hungry.
Me too. My God. Speaking of hunger, I'm hungry to absolutely roast these critics. So the critics absolutely destroyed this movie. They never wanted it to see the light of day because it gave out way too many secrets. And I think that just goes to show, you know, when you accuse somebody, you find out somebody did you wrong, they get defensive, and that's just a good indication of them lying their tushes off. Well, this movie was showing for all to see, all of the public, all no matter if you can pay for a movie ticket, you can see this. The realities of the rich and the upper class. So
The
let's get
lifestyles of the rich and the famous.
to it,
quote
Pat.
My favorite band.
We had Cecil Darden from cinemaexploration.com who wrote dreary suburban drama with a goopy hoary finale. Society seems to be about a whole lot of ideas, when in truth it presents one or two pedestrian concepts and then repeats them ad nauseum. Again, that's Cecil Darden from cinemaexploration.com.
What the fuck? Dreary suburban drama with goopy horror finale. Ooh. Listen here, retard garden. I don't give a shit about what you have to say about this movie. Because you're just a mouthpiece for the people it's criticizing. So why would I even care what you have to say about it, you shill? Night night. I'm gonna shunt your butt closed with my stapler and fill your mouth full of icy brain freeze. You're gonna be full of blue icy until you pass away. Fucker.
Oh my God.
I don't know where that came from.
That left me speechless. That was absolutely. I think that was. I have nothing to follow up on that
drinking
one.
my tea. Look, I'm just Kermit drinking my tea. And that's the thesis.
So we have Stacy Cricket from People Magazine International.
And that's the thesis.
And Stacy wrote, "Do not watch this movie on an empty stomach."
That's kind of true.
It is kind of true. But how dare
it will make you hungry. It's like, don't go to the grocery store on an empty stomach because you'll get all sorts of stuff. If you watch this movie on an empty stomach, you're going to order a big old pizza pie. It'll make you hungry because it looks like Chef Boyardee for the last 30 minutes.
In a video game.
Stacy Cricket, you're a dumb, dizzy bitch, and I bet your tits are on your back. Fuck her.
All right. I mean, Pat, you're absolutely roasting him today. I mean, my guy's on fire.
I can't. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm just in a.
My guy's
I'm in
on
a nasty
fire right
mood
now.
today. Honestly, I've been thrown off ever since you were talking about pissing on turds, and it's thrown me off. I don't know what's going on today. I got anthrax in my beard last week. Let's keep going.
Okay, and last but not least, it's our guy. You already know who it is. It's Keith Beef again from the Washington Post with another absolute dog shit review. It is absurd what we want to do to this man and his family and anybody's ever loved, and there is a level of hell that is meant strictly for people like Keith Beef. And so let's see what he wrote. Keith wrote, "Society is an extremely pretentious, obnoxious horror film that unsuccessfully attempts to introduce kinky sexual elements into extravagant makeup effects."
What a turd. Keith Beef, I want you to experience the sheer boredom of, oh shit, what's the place called where Purgatory. I want you to experience the sheer boredom of Purgatory
It's very lonely.
and the absolute soul-crushing pain of hell. I want you to feel both of them simultaneously, something no human has ever felt. And I want that for you, Keith Beef, because you try to shit on every movie I love. And I want to shoot you in the head with a gun.
In a video game.
Good night, Keith Beef.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Keith.
Bye-bye, bitch.
I just want to follow it up with Keith. I just want you to know that I hope that you're obviously the type of guy that enjoys maybe the second series of Dune books written by the guy's son that everybody says suck.
Fucking idiots.
So
the horny, dumb son.
So it's obvious to me that you have zero taste, and you don't know what's good, what's not. You're just a shell of a man that
Hello,
has been.
hello. Oh, sorry, Will. Will, sorry. This is actually Keith Beef's brain doctor on the phone. He's got his brain is actually just old spider eggs.
Keith, you hear that? Your doctors even hate you. You make me so sad. You make me so sad that I wish you're just sitting there in a Motel 6 you just rented by the hour after paying for some sloppy top, and you're just really thinking about life, and you're not happy about it, and you can't sleep. You got like sleep problems. You might have sleep apnea, but you hate yourself so much that you don't even go to the doctor to get that checked out, even though like a simple sleep study would help. And so you're just like tired all the time, and yeah.
In a video game.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank
All right.
you
Well,
so
this has
much
been
to our beautiful friends that watch our show. Sorry that we got anthrax the last 2 weeks, but we're back, and I'm growing another beard for you guys. I love you all so much. I love you, Will, sweetie.
Yeah, thank you guys. I do not know how to turn this off because I have way too many monitors open, but I just want to say thanks to all listeners out there. No matter what they do to us, whether they anthrax our mail, we will survive domestic terrorism, and we will be taken out. The Hollywood elitist deep state. Tune in next week, hopefully, as long as there is no more domestic terrorism against us, while we...
Movie boy!
Oh, yeah.